Hi, Erin here, and welcome to the Janelle Skirt Sew Along. With your pattern is included a full color instruction booklet that gives you step-by-step instructions and important information on this pattern. Have that by your side as we sew along to make this sewing project a breeze. So this pattern comes with 4 pattern pieces, and you will be cutting out the left front, right front, 2 pieces for your skirt back, and your waistband. This pattern is designed for a woven fabric, but I'm going to use a medium weight Ponte knit, and this Ponte is found in our store. It is the color of wine. So grab your waistband, and on the wrong side of your fabric you're going to apply a medium weight fusible interfacing. Now we're going to work on the right skirt front. And I'm working on the wrong side of my fabric, and the curved edge is my side seam. The straight edge there at the bottom of the screen is going towards the center of the skirt. So we're going to fold over a 1/2 inch, press and sew a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Once you have sewn, you will press that seam that you just made and clip off your extra threads. And as you can see, this is the wrong side and that is the right side. Now we're going to work on the left side of the front of the skirt. And let's scoot down to the bottom. Let's get close up so you can see. When you fold over about 2 inches of the hem, the pattern will fit nicely and flush at the edge. Go ahead and baste that edge that is towards the center front. Just baste it closed. Working on the wrong side of your left skirt front, you're going to fold over a 1/2 inch along that edge. Press it, stitch it, and top stitch. So let's work on the front of the skirt now. We're going to be working with the notches on the top of the skirt pieces. We're going to match the edge with a notch. So we're going to overlap the right front and match it with the left front's notch. Pin to secure, and then you're going to pin down your front split where you want your split to stop, because we're going to sew this all in one continuous seam. We're going to baste across here, turn at this point, and then stitch, top stitch down to secure our split. So I'm going to show you how that's going to be on your sewing machine. We're just going to baste across, and you want to baste at about a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance because you don't want your basting stitch to show on the outside. And then when you get to the stitching, that is your top stitching, you're going to leave your needle in, raise your presser foot, turn, put your stitch length on your regular stitch length, back stitch and top stitch over the same stitching that you made when you hemmed the front edge of your right skirt front. And you're just going to stitch right over that all the way down to where your last pin is, which will show where your split is going to open. When you're done there, go ahead and press that stitching. Just give it a light press to really set that stitching and give it a nice clean finish. So on your skirt back pieces, go ahead and sew the darts that you have marked. I've got a really detailed tutorial on my YouTube channel that goes into great detail about sewing darts. If you are not familiar with them, I highly encourage you to check that out. But I am going to show you what sewing the darts look like. Well, you will see that my skirt is attached here because I actually attached my skirt back pieces to my side seam before I sewed my darts, and I didn't mean to do that, but I'm going to show you in this video the correct order to do so. So let's sew those darts, and then I'll take you through the steps of attaching your skirt backs to your side seam. Now we're going to attach the back of the skirt at the side seam. You're just going to grab one panel and right sides together, attach it at the side seams. And you're also sewing with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. When attaching the other side of your skirt back to the side seam, you'll notice where your left skirt front is shorter because we basted that hem up. you're just going to pin your skirt back, and when you get to the bottom, just go ahead and fold that hem up. When you pin it like that, you're going to sew it like that. And so here I am, I'm just showing you what I am doing. I'm just sewing a straight stitch down the side seams at 1/2 inch seam allowance. If you are using a very stretchy fabric, then you would want to sew with a stretch stitch. Check your manual for the proper stitching. So now we're going to attach the waistband and right sides together, pin and stitch across the top of the skirt. Again, you're going to be sewing here with a 1/2 inch seam allowance and using the proper stitch for whatever fabric that you've chosen. You're going to go ahead and stitch all the way across to secure your waistband to the top of the skirt. When you finish that, you're going to press your seam allowances, both layers, up towards your waistband. Now we're going to prepare to install the zipper. And so right sides facing, we are going to match up our waistband seam, and we're going to baste the center back seam together down to the notch where my thumb is. And then you're going to back stitch there, change your stitch length to the regular stitch length, and stitch down to the hem of your skirt. So I'm placing a pin where my basting will stop and my regular stitch will start. And you have pressed your seam allowance up towards your waistband, and so you're going to sew it that way. So again, baste down to the notch, back stitch at the notch, change your stitch length to a regular stitch, and continue to sew to your hem. So now I'm going to go ahead and hem the rest of my skirt, and since we basted the edge of that smaller skirt front piece, we have already started the fabric to folding over to the 2-inch hem, so just go ahead and continue to secure it all the way around the remainder of the skirt. And the last step is to press our seam allowance flat and install our invisible zipper. Click the window right at the top of this video for detailed instructions on how to install that zipper exactly the way it will be installed in this skirt. I hope that you've enjoyed this sew along, and I can't wait to see what you make. Make sure to tag me at StyleSewMePatterns and at StyleSewMe on Instagram.